This one is actually a mold, so it has like a texture that...
Oh yeah. My favorite ones are the purple and the yellow.
Okay. We're using bacteria as basically an agent to paint with. You can manipulate the DNA of bacteria. I want to use bacteria as a detection agent for toxins in the environment or for the detection of cancer.
In a scientific world, the focus is actually on the applications of this material-idea relationship. As an artist, I'm more interested in the philosophical, representational, or even interpretational level. Do they know where they're going?
The Visiting Artist program really became active in the 1970s, but even before that, you really have to go back to Lepage, who came over from the Bauhaus. He landed here and he said, oh, I'm in a different environment. This is an environment full of scientists, full of engineers, full of people who are trying to invent new things. I really think the artists and the scientists have a lot to say to one another.
He understood how the arts could fit in at an institution of MIT's quality, and by the late 60s, he had created the Center for Advanced Visual Studies.
The artists who were here were not satisfied to just make art. They wanted to develop new technologies. So it just came as a kind of natural thing to create a visiting artist program to enhance this culture.
The kinds of artists we wish to bring to our campus are artists who have a feel in the way they create the art that intersects with science and technology, and to learn from us as we learn from them.
If you could go into Fantasyland and describe what would be the ideal studio for any artist in the 21st century, it would be the MIT facilities.
A lot of my work is trying to figure out interesting ways to combine materials with computers, and through the research I found out about Vic's work. I sent Vic an email. Immediately he responded and he's like, yes, I want to come by. I've heard about MIT and the Media Lab for a long time.
This is a highly abstracted image because what's going on is that system there is throwing charged particles of gallium at the surface. Vic has this vision of etching castles into grains of sand.
And he asked me, like, can we do this at MIT? Is there a way that we can make an image that's so small that we can actually put it onto a grain? We've been going through all these different kinds of equipment, creating really cool techniques for etching it, and then imaging it as well.
Science can benefit enormously from interacting with people who are actually concerned about how to represent the physical world in a way that is accessible but also understandable.
4, 3, 2, 1, 0, and liftoff.
Trevor Paglen came to us with this project where he wanted to put a plaque on a satellite in a geostationary orbit around the Earth and very likely outlive the planet.
How can we encode information into materials that can last for very, very long periods of time? These intersections between deep time and human time are very interesting to think about.
He decided to put a photographic archive of major events in the life of the Earthlings of this planet.
This is not something I can do in my studio. This is not something I can do with materials from, my local art supply store. This is the kind of project that is really only possible at a research institution like MIT.
What's really important about the Visiting Artist program here is that it's based on collaboration with our existing creative arts faculty. Joan Jonas, our performance artist in the program in art, culture, and technology, was already collaborating with the young jazz pianist Jason Morand, a MacArthur Award winner, brilliant pianist. We brought Jason here to MIT to work with Joan to workshop a new performance piece by Joan called Reanimation.
The tone and the volume have to.
Don Byron is a brilliant jazz composer.
You guys really sound amazing.
We brought him back to MIT where he worked on a new piece for a gospel choir. And then he composed a concerto for clarinet for Evan Ziporyn, which was performed with the student wind ensemble.
It's just a musical feast, quite literally.
They had quite a rapport, the two of them.
Students need to learn how to play things in rhythm and make them feel good. So I think I made the thing rhythmically difficult on purpose.
My name is Lepage, and I thought that this morning would be maybe interesting to explain to you my method of working.
Putting students in contact with people who are at the top of their game, whether it's in science or engineering or the arts, and having them learn by creating alongside them is a very special part of MIT's educational philosophy.
There's no rules to this, you just draw the impressions that you have.
The McDermott Award is one of the highest level artist awards in the world. In all cases, the people who get the award spend some time at MIT with the students in some classes.
It's more than an honor. It's also an opportunity to benefit from the creative culture here on campus.
Any questions? Any doubts? Any fears?
When you're starting out, you're an amateur at this, you don't know if what you're doing is going to go off in the right direction. But then having someone who's done it all their life and successful at it, coming to MIT and working with you and making you feel like you're part of the process, makes you feel like you definitely have a chance of doing good work.
But don't be nervous. Ta-da-da-da-da, 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 ta-da-da-da-dum, ta-da-da-da-dum, ta-da-da-da-dum. You know, 4.
The young conductor at the Los Angeles Philharmonic, Gustavo Dudamel, came here to receive the award.
You need an audience to...
Robert Lepage, the Canadian theater maestro, everything. I mean, he does it all.
With experience, we've learned that we should not force connections. We let them, and eventually 2 or 3 things seems to go together, and we go, oh, there's a pattern there.
I've never really seen the quote-unquote division between the arts and the sciences as any kind of dichotomy. To be a complete person, it makes sense to be educated in both. So having a vibrant arts program at a school like MIT is important for making complete human beings, for making human beings that connect to the world.
Asking questions that haven't been asked before. When you put the artist into the mix, I think those questions become larger, they become more speculative, and they also have this human dimension.
This one is a mistake. It's not an actual experiment, but it still looks really cool.
Working with Vic has really made me think about the whole cycle of technology and art and how those two are interwoven. And it's just a beautiful cycle connecting nature and the high technology that we practice here.
It would be really interesting to film on the microscope all the details there. There's a lot of intricate stuff going on. Like some bacteria are swimming and other bacteria are just climbing on top of each other and they like to communicate.